Okay, I think we're back, and hopefully we stay back. Um, okay, cool. Now, I had to change the software that I was using. Um, Instead of D3D gear, I'm using Open Broadcaster software now, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more reliable. Creation Kit is kind of a heavy. It takes a lot of processing power to work, I guess. Um, so hopefully Open Broadcaster software can keep it going. It has an auto reconnect feature, so hopefully it'll keep it going even if Creation Kit causes problems. But anyway, that's not what I want. I do not want to save Untitled. No. This is every tiny little stupid change to Relics of Hyrule. This is the notepad file I use to keep track of what I'm doing in Relics of Hyrule. So while Creation Kit is loading, and Creation Kit's it takes a really long time for it to load, and it will probably crash. The game will probably crash. I mean, the tool will probably crash sometimes during this stream, but I will be saving often, and it takes a long time to save as well, so we'll have plenty of time to discuss things, because it will be crashing a lot, and I'll have to save a lot. I think discuss things, because it will be... I am pausing a lot while I'm talking. I just paused there. If the audio is cutting out, it might just be Creation Kit being obnoxious and taking a lot of resources. So hopefully when it's up, it won't be cutting out as much. I just paused there. If the audio is cutting out, it might just be Creation Kit being obnoxious and taking resources. So hopefully when it's up, it won't be cutting out as much. Video output low. The YouTube is not smooth streaming. Viewers will experience buffering. Okay, let's see if I can... I wonder if I can make it, I can't change... I have options here for low latency and less... Oh, it went green. Yeah, stream lag sucks. It's, the connection is really bad, and I wish I could change the options, so that it's not cutting out so much and it's not buffering as much. But I can't. But yeah, once again, it's Creation Kit's loading and it's sucking resources from everything else. So it might smooth out once Creation Kit is loaded. Okay, Creation Kit is loaded. I'm gonna give it a little time to Creation Kit is now loaded, so hopefully it'll catch up with itself. Ideally, I would have had Creation Kit loaded before the stream began, and I tried that already with the other broadcasting software, but it didn't work out. YouTube. The other annoying thing is I can only see my side of things. So even though I can see the stream, it's running perfectly fine for me because it's coming straight from my computer. Well, I guess we'll see how this turns out. I wonder if I can configure this. Okay, it's smooth? Okay. It's just giving me it's telling me that it's being really obnoxious, so I'm seeing if I can, fiddle with some settings so it's not bitrate. Maybe if I lower... Oh, well, whatever. Okay, let's just see what happens. YouTube is telling me that the video output is low, so you might not have the smoothest stream, but it will be a stream nonetheless. Okay, 7 minutes into the second time I attempted this stream. Here's Creation Kit. This is Creation Kit. This is the object window, and I'm not gonna like tell you every single little detail about how Creation Kit works. I'm just gonna go through it normally. So these are all the weapons, and I can organize them by form ID, which tells me which ones come from Relics of Hyrule. So all the way down to here, that is a huge chunk of items coming straight from Relics of Hyrule. All the way from form ID 007 F7 for the Sleeping Master Sword, all the way up to FD02AB for Hilda's staff. So Hilda's staff was the newest weapon, according to the form ID. It's a lot of stuff. And that's just the weapons. There's even more for armor and everything else. So what I'm going to do today... this is every tiny little stupid change I made to Relics of Hyrule. Here's my plans for 6.5. This is what I'm doing for 6.49. There's a lot of stuff that I'm adding to 6. Mostly fixes for 6.49, which will be coming out very soon, maybe even tomorrow, because I only have so much. Just few little things that I'm going to be doing. I fixed a lot of stuff for 6.49. Actually, no, this is not true anymore. I got rid of that. Trying to think of something cool that's new for 6.49. I changed all of the Gerudo vampires to red guards rather than wood elves. Because Gerudo traditionally don't have pointed ears, and I wanted to make it... I wanted to give them darker skin. I wanted to make them more distinct. And I think that's... The Locomo Sword will work better in 6.49, same with the Goron weapons. There's just a lot of streamlining for 6.49. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check on Blizzetta. One of the bosses of Midna's tomb. She's obviously named after a boss from Twilight Princess. And she takes the form of a Storm Atronach, but I retextured her to use frost textures. And what she's supposed to do is she's supposed to attack you when you enter her arena, but she doesn't. At least she's not as reliable as she should be. So I'm just checking her. Oh, she's very aggressive. She has the right combat style. I wonder if she doesn't have... item duplication. So when did that happen when you went to the Ancient Enchanter and tried to make the True Master Sword of the upgraded Dominion Rod, and instead of giving you a new Dominion Rod, it just duplicated it? In that case, do you have a perk overhaul like Spurg or Ordinator or Percus Maximus or something like that that has a perk along the lines of that if you take an item to an enchanting table, and it allow you to learn the enchantment without breaking the item, because perks like that will cause problems, and for some reason the Ancient Enchanter counts as an enchanter, so I may change the name and the way that people interact with it. What does POS stand for? It could be, yeah, it could just be a perk, it could be a mod interaction, so I'm gonna try, for the sake of compatibility, I might change the name of the Ancient Enchanter to Ancient Altar, or something, or Ancient Enchanting Altar, something like that, so that it's not the same name. But of course, the problem with that would be, if I could add Ancient Enchanter here. Nope. Hylian. Hylian Enchanting Workbench. Is enchanting. So, yeah, so those perks look for a keyword, is enchanting. And it will, if the recipe has the original item in it, it will keep it and then not duplicate it. So I will try to, I don't think it's the name, I think it's this keyword, which is tricky because it'll be tricky to make compatibility for that because, oh wait, no, I will have to look into it because I think this is what tells the game what animation to use. But I don't know. I'll have to look into it because normally I don't like to make a compatibility. I don't like to kowtow to other mods. People have been submitting reports that Morwidajal, the entrance to Morwidajal, conflicts with other mods. And I could add another staircase to Morwidajal, but I don't want to be like... I don't want to try to be compatible with everything. But so many perk mods add that a similar perk to you don't have to destroy don't have to destroy a thing to get the next thing. Anyway, I'll look at this and I'll make a note in every time you stupid little change. Check ancient enchanter how it animate can remove is enchanting. I use Spurg, and Spurg has a perk that does that it like you could break off an enchantment without destroying the item. So for the sake of my own playthrough, I'll look into this. As for whether Creation Kit uses coding knowledge, most of it you can do without coding knowledge. Like if I wanted to make a new weapon, like this Hylian warbow that I never finished, all of this, you can make a weapon just by dealing with all these little data points. It doesn't require coding knowledge, but if you wanted to use scripts like this, the bow has a script called add spell. If you wanted to make something like this, oh, Path of Sorcery, yeah, Path of Sorcery is another one that I use. So I'll fix the problem. But anyway, yeah, coding. So if you wanted to make something like that, or something even more complicated, like the, let's see here. Well, the Hylia's Denial Door has a script, very simple script. Set values to different variables, and then it moves the player. It does, if you want to do really complicated things, it requires coding knowledge. There's conditions, there's other things that you can work with that don't need that much coding knowledge, but coding knowledge definitely helps, because it helps you understand how everything interacts. Like the thrown items, the bombs, it's very complicated how they're actually set up. The bombs are actually scrolls. Where are they? Scroll. So if we look at a Deku Nut, this is just a scroll that tells it to call to the magic effect, which is the Deku Nut. So the magic effect for the Deku Nut tells it to look at the projectile and the casting art. So the casting art is you holding the Deku Nut. So this effect tells the game to render a Deku Nut in your hand, and then when you cast the spell, it throws the projectile Deku Nut, and the projectile Deku Nut, here's the Deku Nut projectile, it tells the game that when the Deku Nut projectile impacts with an enemy or a surface, it'll explode using the Deku Nut explosion, and then it also tells the game what model to use for the projectile. And the projectile needs a collision mesh inside it. So the explosion is Deku Nut explosion, and then the explosion has an enchantment on it. It's a special enchantment for the Deku Nut, so that tells the game that when the explosion hits an enemy, it'll apply that enchantment. And that's all just that one item, the Deku Nut. So depending on what you're working with, it can be more complicated. I have no experience with Click Team Fusion, so I wouldn't know if they're similar. And that's just working with items and spells and things. There's also all this stuff up here, which is world editing, which I'll get to when I work on the Hofengar Secret Grotto. Anyway, Blazetta looks like she's okay. For some reason, she hasn't been attacking people properly. I'll have to test her a little bit more. Or maybe it's because Maybe if I remove this and add... I'm gonna compare her to the Storm Atronach to see if there's any differences. Storm, I can spell. Atronach Storm. Oh, that's the problem. Okay, so Storm Atronachs have special versions of Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt to allow them to actually use them, but Blizzetta just has normal spells, so I'm going to see if there's a special Frost Cloak for her. Draugr Frost Cloak. Frost Cloak. Or Wood Cloak. That's not Cloak Ice Storm. So let's try that. Put that in there. Storm. Area Attack. Lightning Bolt. What I'll probably do is I'll duplicate these. Oh wait, I'll look at them. Okay, so... left hand. That would explain it. Okay, so all I need to do is actually give Blizzetta left-handed... I don't need the Warbow anymore. Instead of Ice Storm and Ice Spike, she'll have left-handed Ice Spike and Ice Storm. Ice Storm left, right hand. Ice Storm left hand. There we go. Nope. Ice Storm left hand. That should work. That should be better for her. And hopefully she'll actually use this Ice Storm Cloak. I mean, Frost Cloak. Okay, so... I don't know if that worked or not, but I'm gonna check it. I'm also going to make her leveled. She'll start at level 50, as she's supposed to, but... I want to make her level with the player. I'll make her level 80 to cap. 85. And I'll make her 1.2 times player's level. I'll do the same with Fyrus. And I'll add a note that Blizzetta and Fyrus now level with player. 2, 50, 85. Okay. Next thing, Gravestone M4. So I'm adding a new gravestone, and this will show you how some of the how some things are set up. So first I need to make a message. Where's the messages? Half the fun of Creation Kit is finding what you need, because there's this huge menu. I forget where everything is. Okay. Kakariko Graveyard. It's going to be M4. So I'm going to duplicate M1. M4. And this is going to be... It's going to be a joke gravestone for Robbie Rotten, which is a reference to Lazy Town. And I forget exactly what I wrote down for it. There's Chansey. I move the chat over here. Random Fun Times references. And I have a list of every single gravestone. Not just a list. It's a spreadsheet showing every single gravestone. And have I already marked? Yeah, I marked M4. So M4 is Robbie Rotten. Who did you expect Sportaflop? So I'm gonna copy paste that in here. So I've made the message. I'm gonna rearrange this, put this back. Oh, there was another one that I want. Oh yeah, Unmarked Grave. There's gonna be a new one in 6.49. Unmarked Grave, son of Mark Grave. Good thing I checked that because it's son, not song. And this is a reference to Homestar Runner. Very subtle reference, but nevertheless. Okay, so I have the message now, and I need to go to Kakariko Village. And I need to go to the graveyard. So now we're going to do a little bit of world editing. Where's the render window? There it is. So this is the world editor for Creation Kit. There's the graveyard. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gravestone right there is going to be the one that I'm going to add to. And I built the gravestones so that they're a very simple script that when you interact with them, event on activate, it just shows a message. And their default message is that you can't read it. So every gravestone can be read, but if it's one that doesn't actually have a message, doesn't actually have a dedicated epitaph, then it will just say it's too faded to read. And that makes it really easy for me to just go down and add Robbie Rotten's new one. So now, this gravestone, when you interact with it, it will pop up with a message box that says, Robbie Rotten, who did you expect Sportaflop? Alright, so that is add gravestone M4, which I'm not gonna... Added 2 new gravestones. Oh yeah, so the ciphers in Relics of Hyrule. I'm gonna save, and it might take a little while to save. The ciphers. Wait, where's the object window? There it is. So I can bring up one of the ciphers. Notes, couples note, hero's bow. It might be light arrow. There's one. That's the one that you found first. Yeah, the scrawled notes. So I'm gonna copy this into a notepad file so we can talk about it while Creation Kit is saving. Oh, I need to close it. Okay, save. So this cipher, most of the ciphers are, I don't want to say they're simple, but the rule is very quick. For this one, I mentioned that the end of the first word, the end of that first word is your hint. And by that I meant these last 2 characters. The idea is, with ciphers, you look for something, you look for a pattern. And we know that with the English language, if you see an apostrophe followed by a single letter, it's usually apostrophe S. So the idea is to take that one hint, apostrophe S, and then look at what this is, and it's T. So since you have an idea of what it might be, then you follow that rule that you that you may have found, and then just change every letter accordingly. So in this case, since it's S instead of T, it could be that this cipher just moved every letter forward one in the alphabet. The standalone mods are... I'm not really maintaining the standalone mods anymore. Because they are... For one thing, Relics of Hyrule is my main project, and I don't want to maintain 5,000 different mods. Relics of Hyrule is the true Zelda mod that I've made. The standalone mods were all merged together in order to make Relics of Hyrule. It's very rare that I'll make a new standalone mod or modify a standalone mod. A long time ago, probably a year ago now, someone requested that I update the standalone Master Sword mod to align with how Relics of Hyrule does things. And I don't really think I'll do that. It just feels like a step backward for me. Because Relics of Hyrule is complete. And all these items interact with each other. But the light arrow, the fire, ice, and light arrow mod I don't want to call it incomplete, but it's sort of the way it is. And I don't know, I don't, unless something really jumps out at me, I'm not going to update it. I am doing pretty well, Actic. Good to see you again. And as for how to pronounce Kakariko, I pronounce it Kakariko. I think it's supposed to be, actually, you know what? Let's open a tab. Let's open a new window. Since it's a word that people have seen in writing, the reason why I pronounce it Kakariko is, according to Zelda Wiki... Oh wait, Zelda Wiki seems to have a pronunciation. Yeah, according to Zelda Wiki, the pronunciation is Kakariko. Reason is, it may have originated from the word Cocorico, which is a French onomatopoeia for the sound of a crowing rooster. And in the French version of the game, it is Cocorico. So I'm just sort of following that sort of structure of how it's pronounced. That's usually how I do things, is I do a lot of research, and I pay very close attention to... Oh, wow. Alright, moving on. Like, there's some parts where I mess up, like, when I designed the Lowlian shield, and I will stand by that adjective until the day I die, I made the error, when I made the Lowlian shield, I just made up a Lowlian crest. But the problem is there is an actual crest for Lorule. that I was not aware of because I never finished Link Between Worlds. Like an idiot, never finished it. And somebody brought it up to me that there's actually a crest for Lorule. Let's see here. There it is. Right there. And I'm like, oh, derp. And I made my own crest for it. And everything. Get out of the way, Link. Why are you blocking the Lolian crest? But usually I research a lot. So that things are as they should be, I guess, for the best explanation. But, you know, this is Skyrim, so it's not going to be exactly the same. But I try to make it as close as possible. Creation Kit takes a long time to save. I'm not gonna... Yeah, I never finished A Link Between Worlds, so we're in the same boat. I have a really hard time being immersed in the top-down Zelda games. I never started Minish Cap. I do have it. I do have the Minish Cap, and I want to... 6.6 is going to be... I'm just announcing this right now. 6.6 is going to be Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and Minish Cap. As for whether you can use the Dominion Rod on the Silver Centurion, give it a shot. I don't know. Give it a shot. It could work. It might not, but we'll see. Whether the Silver Centurion will follow you out of Kino Langdonzell is another thing. Items. Yeah, the wiki. It's good to see you, Camel Chip, by the way. The wiki. I don't know exactly what needs to focus on the wiki. There are some articles that maybe need a little bit more information. And there might be some items that are newer that haven't been updated for it. I'll open the wiki now. Oh, that's something. Okay, so Camel Chip, if you want to, the thing that we need for the wiki is updating things to 6.4. So, for instance, Nehru's Shield was updated in 6.3, but the recipe on the wiki wasn't updated. So if you want, you can check on articles that see ya, Actic. Check on articles that may have been updated for 6.4 or 6.3 even, and see about updating them accordingly. I think that's the main thing that that the wiki needs mostly. And of course there's the wanted pages and item list. Yeah. And there's so many articles I can't really keep track of everything. The Hero Shade still doesn't have a page. Valentine doesn't have a page. Chillfos doesn't have a page. Ignatia. This could be made into a redirect page. Redeads don't have a page. Wow. There's lots of things that... So if anyone wants to help with the wiki, the wanted pages, that's the place to go. And if you find anything that's out of date, either let me know, or update it yourself if you feel so inclined, if you can find exactly what it is. I'm sort of obsessed with making the wiki a useful piece of information, but I'm just one guy and I can't keep track of everything. Anyway, okay, so next course of action. Oh yeah, gold Skulltulas. Skulltulas don't have a page. The gold Skulltula tokens don't even have a page. Let's see here. Hoffingar Secret Grotto Nav Mesh is something I need to work on. So I will load that up. I love Twilight Princess Zelda. Twilight Princess Zelda is best Zelda. Because I just really like Twilight Princess Zelda. Because I drew so much inspiration from that version of Zelda for Relics of Hyrule. So the version of Zelda that's sort of presented in Relics of Hyrule, if you her sort of personification is based on Twilight Princess Zelda. As for Link, my gut is saying the Hero of Winds, Wind Waker Link. I don't know why I chose Wind Waker Link, the Hero of Winds, as my favorite Link. Maybe it's because I main Toon Link in Super Smash Brothers. No, it's not it. I just really like the Hero of Winds. Yeah, Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess Link is a solid Link. I like them all. No, but yeah, Hero of Winds is probably my favorite incarnation of Link. Yeah, the stream is definitely... I mean, the stream is delayed for me. And I'm the one hosting it, so you never know. So there is a... There's probably a delay. Okay, where am I going? Where am I looking at? Hoffingar Secret Grotto. Secret Grotto. This stream is going to be a preview for what I'm working on for 6.49 and 6.5. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. So, Secret Grotto for Hoffingar, it used to just be this chunkity chunk here. That spacer's a little too high. I'm gonna lower that. Hopefully they can still climb up that. I want it to be aligned. There we go. That looks a little better. This is the new version of Alnasan, the Gerudo vampire that you can recruit. In fact, I might as well just bring her up in the object window. So before, I know you can make the argument that because they're vampires... Whoa, that's not normal. Because they're vampires, they would not have dark skin. And that's a valid point, but the other, like, the Redguard vampires in Skyrim have dark skin. So I'm just following Skyrim. But yeah, so this is the new version of Alnasan. I reworked her face to look more like a Gerudo would. Her nose probably could be a little bigger, but I want her to look human. And I really like how her face turned out for this new sort of redesign, because it ended up making it look like she has, like, bags under her eyes, like she's really tired, which works out really well. I am going to give them, all three of these guys are going to have journals, and I'm going to actually implement Alnasan's journal during this stream. I'm going to work on Latimer and Yolanda for 6.5. I'm going to release 6.49 with Alnasan, because I need to figure out what their backstories are for these two. Alnasan's, I figured it out. And you'll be able to read her journal, so you know exactly where she's coming from. This book here that's on the Morley Ball altar is one that they carried, and I removed it from their inventory, so now it's just that copy and the copy that it's in Misery, in the Ruptured Towers. And originally, you could get like 4 copies of it, but there's no reason for all 3 of them to carry a copy of it. And it's the Chronicle of War Volume 4, and that explains the backstory of not only the Hylian vampires, but also these 3, and why they are where they are and what they do, and why they're friendly vampires instead of aggressive. Chronicle of War Volume 4 removed from inventory. Oh, Alnasan. Alnasan's name is an anagram. I love using anagrams and different things like that. So Alnasan's name is an anagram, and it's in the wiki what it's an anagram of, if you want spoilers. It's not Relics of Hyrule related, her name. It's sort of based on the elements that she uses, which is very vague. Speaking of Alnasan and her weaponry, there's something weird about the Gerudo scimitar. If you have dual sheath redux and you have 2 on your back, for some reason they'll overlap, and the handle will be switched instead of the blades, and it looks really weird, and I don't know what causes it. I've tried to fix it, and it's something that I'm looking into. Latimer, I'm moving him around a little because I want him to... Last time I was in Hofingar Secret Grotto, he wasn't there, and I don't know... Okay, a 2-minute delay is definitely a lot, but... I don't know. If you want 2 minutes from the point that I say this, you could try refreshing the stream. That might catch you up. Or I could just say it in the chat. You could try. Oh, you've refreshed it, okay. Cool beans. White Ring enchantment. Okay, I will check that, because it's supposed to be able to be put on other rings and other things like that. Worn restrictions, none. Enchantment. Okay. Enchantment robe. Same. Yeah, the ivory is a duplicate of the white ring, so they would have the same problem. I did want people to be able to break it and move it if they wanted to. I think what I'll do is I'll make it have the same restrictions as enchantment health, and I'll have to check on it to see if that actually works. Enchantment health. You can make white rings. If you have light essence, you can make a white ring, and that'll speed up the process for making the enchanted rings. Okay, I'm gonna make... Yeah, the white. I was thinking of put in 72. Oh, 72 are. Oh, I thought you said 72 white rings. I'm like, how? What? What was I saying? Oh yeah, white circlet. The white circlet I added just for fun. Um, and it uses the same enchantment as white ring. That's why I highly recommend visiting the Ancient Enchanter often, because the recipe for the white ring. Recipe. Yeah, the Termina Forge white ring. Um, the conditions are just having potent light essence in your inventory. Yeah, so it's potent light essence. So if you have the Triforce of Knowledge or potent light essence and you visit the Terminan Forge, and it'll tell you, hey, you can make a white ring. So if you find something really cool or get a new spell from Relics of Hyrule, definitely check on the Ancient Enchanter or the Terminan Forge, because it might unlock something. Pino Langdonzel is an anagram. So, just so you know, I just like pointing that out. Alright, I'm in here, Halfingar Secret Grotto, because I wanted to fix the nav mesh. One of my least favorite parts of working on Skyrim mods is these friggin' nav meshes. This mess of red triangles, this is how the game knows where NPCs can go. So this is how these vampires will know where they can go, where they can't, and what tells the AI what to do. And it is very annoying working with these nav meshes, especially when I can't get the stupid render window to go where I want it to go. Some of these are just out of nowhere. They're not anywhere that can be used, so I'm going to delete them. I like making dungeons, but... Oh yeah, I just gave something away, didn't I? If you're in the expansion of the Halfingar Secret Grotto, you can use the Song of Time and get a shortcut. There's a lot of shortcuts that the blocks of time allow you to do. This is pretty much just a whole bridge that allows you to walk all the way up from the bottom. I have something in place so that you can, I made a little script thing down here. This block of wall, this rocky wall, you can actually climb once you can actually access the expansion, the Halfingar Secret Grotto. You can climb that wall to get back up there. But I added this bridge so that you can go down without having to jump. And it also allows you to access this over here. And you can get some fat loots. Okay, is this... jeez. It's really, for some reason, the controls are really touchy right now. Okay, that's accessible, but that's not really useful. I'm still learning things about Creation Kit. Like, there's certain hotkeys that you can use to align objects with each other. And I think there's a few different things that allow you to center the camera. I'm still learning things. I'm mostly trying to get rid of these nav meshes that aren't going to be used by anybody. Because there's no point in having a nav mesh inside a pillar when nobody's going to be inside that pillar. I'm also looking for things like this, where this is obviously something that somebody could actually cross onto, but it's not, it wasn't generated right, so I have to connect it so that somebody could actually come up here. I wouldn't want an intro for my, I do definitely appreciate the offer. I do like the idea. I mean, I definitely appreciate, the offer. I don't really want an intro for the Relics of Hyrule series. I'd rather stick with, the way I have it set up. Okay, come on. Work with me here. There we go. Ooh. Oh, that's a vampire. Okay. I was like, oh, who's that? No, it's just a vampire. Sometimes I use NPCs to gauge how big things are, and I try to remember to delete them so you don't have like duplicates of Delphine or something. This is my favorite Skyrim mod too. It's this mod, I actually, when I'm at work, I'm like, if it's a slow day at work, then I'll be like, I can't wait to get home and work on Relics of Hyrule. Like, I was really excited about reworking how the Locomo sword works with its, there's a Hylian vampire. Right. Someone suggested making, speaking of throwing money, if you check on the Nexus mod page, there's a button that might interest you up in the upper right corner of the screen. If you have money to throw at me, that is. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, someone suggested giving the Hylian vampires a custom race. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I actually started to do that, and then I realized it's not going to work. So they are still High Elves, and the Gerudo are Redguard vampires now. It works for things like the Gemos and Redeads, but because the Hylian vampires have such a variety of armor, I don't want to have them have a custom race. I'm sure there's some weird magic way to give them a custom race that they don't actually need. So they don't actually need. So that they can follow the. Like they're a custom race, Hylian, but they use High Elf armor add-ons, but I don't know how to do that. I don't want to figure it out. It's not a high priority, so I'm not going to bother with it. Oh, that makes sense. And this button up here, this finds cover edges, so it analyzes the nav mesh and tells the AI that they can hide behind this area here, but they can't hide behind this yellow one, and then this is a barrier, this white one. The simpler the area is, the easier the nav mesh is to fiddle with. This area is very complicated, so the nav mesh is sort of garbledy-gook. True Master Sword. Base damage of 16. Loco Mo. $15. Oh, I turned off the stupid nav mesh window. Ah! Okay, I think there's only so much I can do with the nav mesh in this area because it's so complicated. So I think I'm just gonna call this good once it stops moving, and I'm gonna save it. Boop. Let's see here. It's gonna be like ongoing. As long as people can, as long as NPCs can traverse it, I'm fine. I might fiddle with the blocks of time so that if you have a follower, the follower will follow you along the blocks of time. Follower support is really difficult because the nav meshes are just obnoxious. So the next thing I'm going to do is this black fairy in Ganon's tower. I'm just sort of going to adjust how it behaves when you pull that lever. Right now it does nothing, but I want to make it into a hint. Yeah, you say non-biased, and of course my mind instantly went to the story I have set up for Relics of Hyrule. I mean, honestly, if it's a maxed out Dragonborn, with every possible shout, every possible dragon plate armor, dragon aspect, Odaving. I don't think Ganon would stand a chance. It's just, it's so unbalanced. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alduin. Um, if I made the Master Sword strong against Alduin, it would completely um contradict all of the lore I have set up for the story of Relics of Hyrule. Um, it it would definitely be easy to implement, but it would undermine everything I have set up for the mod. I don't want to give anything away. I may have just given something away, but I definitely recommend like playing through, finding all the lore, especially in the Ruptured Towers, to give you a sense of why I would not make the Master Sword strong against Alduin. You did spell Mehrunes Razor right, except that the apostrophe is after the S because it's the razor. It's the dagger that belongs to Mehrunes Dagon. So it would be Mehrunes apostrophe Razor. But Mehrunes is correctly spelled. It's just that apostrophe that's out of place. I have a soda pop now, so if you hear the hissing sound of carbonated water, that's all it is. Since we're waiting on stupid creation kit from saving, I'm going to talk about 6.5. I don't want to give too much away. I may have given enough away just by scrolling up there. But 6.5 is going to be based on Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. So there'll be lore. I'm going to add a couple new lore mods. Lore books about the Hero of Winds and how he factored into the last Great War of Hyrule. And the Ruptured Towers, if you visit those right now, there's two Ruptured Towers that you can't access. There's Rage and there's Crisis. Crisis is the windmill, and Rage is the mountain. And Rage is earth, and Crisis is wind. To reference the earth and wind temples from Wind Waker. So the Ruptured Towers is sort of the story of the hero's shade, but the Crisis and Rage are going to be the hero of winds. So it's like he's how he factored into things, and it sort of implies that he may have gotten trapped in the Ruptured Towers very briefly, or something. I don't know. I'm leaving it open. I like to keep most of the lore open like that. I'm very glad that this mod gives you nostalgia. That's what I'm going for. It's designed to make you, to remind you how great Zelda is in more ways than one. Like the lore is really, really sad, and it's really depressing. And the reason for that is, one, it's Skyrim, and also it's to remind you that Zelda, because the idea is you don't know how much you like something until you have it taken away from you. So with Relics of Hyrule, the whole thing with Hyrule being gone is to just like remember how great Hyrule is, remember how great Zelda is. And I've had people tell me that the mod makes them want to play Ocarina of Time again, and I'm like, yeah, do it, because that was what I was going for. No, Zelda is great. Legend of Zelda is, but Zelda herself, There, 6.5 is also going to add some really amazing. I'm really excited about this. So Ganon got his sort of epilogue with Ganon's Tomb with 6.2. He got his epilogue, and 6.5 is going to give Link and Zelda epilogues. And Zelda's epilogue is something that I'm really excited about because Zelda is often presented as sort of an infallible person. She's sort of perfect in a lot of games, and even in the lore of Relics of Hyrule, she's presented as sort of perfect. But I want to, in 6.5, there's a lore book that you'll find that presents her as sort of flawed, in a way, but not, like super crazy horrible, just like not as perfect as people would expect. Okay, that should be okay. I'm going to generate a nav mesh using object-based generation. That did nothing. It's another problem with nav meshes is sometimes you generate them and it just doesn't work. Oh, there it goes. What do you mean by hidden skill? Do you mean the ones from Twilight Princess? The kill moves from Twilight Princess? Or not the kill moves, but like the things that the hero Shade teaches you. Yeah, Twilight Princess. Okay, so animation, if I want to add new animations, that is pretty much impossible. For me, anyway. Because I don't have the tools or the skills. So it wouldn't be animations. I'll have to do some research. I don't want to say no and I don't want to say yes. I'll have to do research. Depending on the hidden skill, I might be able to implement it, but I don't want to... I have to be really careful what I say because I don't want people to get their hopes up that I will add them, because they're a very distinctive thing from Twilight Princess, and I don't want Relics of Hyrule to be... I don't want Relics of Hyrule to be a Zelda game. I want it to be a Skyrim mod. So it could be that in the future, at some point, I might add something that pays homage to the hidden skills from Twilight Princess. But I may not actually add the hidden skills themselves. Because it's a Twilight Princess experience. And I wouldn't want to add something from Twilight Princess that that would keep people from playing Twilight Princess. That's basically the idea. That's also why there's no Zelda music in the mod. Because I didn't want this to be a Zelda game. I want it to be a Skyrim mod. But I am planning on adding, see if I can find them. There's the stamina scroll from, like, I think Link to the Past. Is Zelda a boy? That's great. Swordsman's Scroll. I was thinking of adding the scrolls from Phantom Hourglass. The Swordsman's Scroll, see, the Swordsman Scrolls. Yeah, because the scroll allows the Link to shoot sword beams out of the Locomo sword, and the Locomo swords should have sword beams. So I may add like the Swordsman Scroll, the Tiger Scrolls from the Minish Cap, but obviously it won't be like Spin Attack and Sword Beam. It'll be other things like that. Yeah, the um, Spur definitely builds on the Golden Gauntlets. It's one of the reasons why I implemented the way to remove the enchantment. I mean, remove the speed effect, because sometimes it's fun and sometimes it gets really annoying to be able to swing a greatsword the same speed as a dagger. But at the same time, I'm really happy that the Platinum Gauntlets actually work. That the Golden Gauntlets and Platinum Gauntlets, Silver Gauntlets, the Precious Metal Gauntlets, as I've come to call them, that they actually apply that speed effect. Because it was hard to get them to actually work. That's another thing that keeps things from getting into Relics of Hyrule, is whether or not they can work. The hookshot took a really long time, because I didn't know whether it could actually work. Ganon's Tower. Okay. So, here's another behind-the-scenes thing. Ganon's Tower is actually an interior cell. So it's not a world. It's not like an outside area like Riverwood. Well, I mean, obviously the interior is the interior of Ganon's Tower, but Ganon's Deadlands, the island in Oblivion that you can visit if you complete the Ruptured Towers, this is actually inside, technically. It's just a huge cell. They call them cells when it's an interior area or whatever, or an exterior area. The things, these things, the areas, the locations are cells, and it's just lava tiles and basalt cliffs and everything that I just put in an interior cell. So it's not a world. Yeah, it's the Locomo sword was supposed to paralyze only undead, Hylian undead, but the way that enchantments work, if you have, and this is the old one, it had a condition. So I had a condition that like only works on undead. It checks if it's undead, and it's not. It didn't work because if it's not an undead, then it'll tell you that it resisted it. So by using a perk, then it doesn't do that because the perk applies a spell. And because it's a spell, it doesn't say resist. There'll still be a little bit of resistance, and it'll tell you that, but that's actually legitimate resistance to the paralyzation, rather than just not meeting the conditions. And I did the same thing with the Twilight weapons, and I reworked the Twilight weapons so that they apply frost damage at dusk and sun damage at dawn. So I'm really excited about that. I like solving problems like that. I like making things work better. Okay, back to Ganon's Tower. Ganon's Tower I actually built to fit inside that exterior tower. I copied and pasted it, the exterior tower, and fit everything inside, and then designed the dungeon to follow that restriction. And down here, this is a puzzle down here. People sometimes have trouble with it, but this is an automatic door that opens this portcullis, and then this closes the portcullis if you're too close. So once you pass in, the portcullis closes, and then you have to open it with this. But this lever also opens the portcullis that allows you to access the rest of the dungeon. So you have to. There's 3 different ways to actually get back upstairs. And these are supposed to not settle, so I wonder if I can just check that box. No, that doesn't work. I might see if I can find a way to make them static, because they're supposed to stay there. I might fiddle with that and implement what I did with the the Master Sword. Where do I stand by? No AI acquired. Let's see. Oh, I wonder if there's a script. Probably not. I'm not gonna be a script. I just wonder. Yeah, I'll make a note of that so that just for a little extra because this was supposed to be like a mass sacrifice down here, but every time I come down here to check on things, the daggers are on the floor, but they're supposed to be in these corpses' backs. I wonder... Actually, I wonder if the static... Dagger? First person dagger? No, it has a sheath. Friggin' frig stick. I don't want to do... Daedric shield. Daedric helmet. I wonder if there's a... No. Well, it's something that I'll add eventually. Just to make sure that these are the way that they're supposed to be. But anyway, what I was going to do is this fairy here. There's a fairy right there. That I wanted to put over here. There. Right by the door. Nope, nope, nope. What? Ah! Fairy. Got it? No, fairy. Okay. Now that I think of it, I wanted to have music on during the stream, but it copyright. So I was thinking of seeing if I could find a stream, or not a stream, but a playlist of like Kevin MacLeod music or something. But the stream's been going for an hour and a half. So unless there's a huge demand for royalty-free music, I'm not gonna bother. Ownership extra. Oh, enable. That's what I wanted. Set Cannons tower. So what I'm doing is, this fairy is going to, when the other fairy over there, this fairy is going to be, oh wait, no, it should be the other way around. I'm going to switch them. So this fairy over here is going to be over there. And this fairy is a hint to pull that lever. And this fairy is going to enable, it's going to appear when you pull this lever. But this fairy is going to disable when that lever is pulled. So I'm going to add a script to the lever. Enable. I think it's default enable. No, it's gotta check my notes. Checking my notes. Quick creation kit things. Where is it? Quick creation kit. Default on activate enable script. Okay. Let's turn this back. And so this script, oh no, it's already open. There it is. Yeah, default on activate enable script. And this fairy is, no, I didn't want to do that. What did I do? I duplicated it. Okay, this fairy, there's two now. Get out of here. Nope, stay here. Why are there two arrows? Creation kit, why you do this? Okay, this thing is not disabled by default. It's this one that's disabled by default. There. And this one has the enable state. Okay. This one is disabled by default. So this will enable this fairy. No, this one should be, for love of crap. Okay, this one is enabled. This one is already enabled, and you need to find it. You need to pull this lever. So it needs to be the other fairy that enables. So this fairy has to be disabled by default. And then this guy 50. You can get revenge for Hyrule. That's the only thing that I'm gonna add. But you can get revenge for Hyrule, and I think that's good enough for me. I honestly, actually, you know, I was actually thinking of adding the Ruins of Hyrule Castle to the mod. But I was thinking about it. I know people are gonna, like, jump out of their seats and say, "Wait, what?" But it's just a thought that I was thinking. I don't know if I'll actually do it. But it was an idea I had. Maybe down the line it might happen, but it's not going to be anytime soon. But yeah, you can get revenge for Hyrule. I don't want to tell you which character you can get revenge on. But basically, if you complete all of Relics of Hyrule, if you go through Ganon's tomb, or if you go through Ruptured Towers and find the book that's hidden in Ganon's in Loss, then you'll find out who you can get revenge on. Who you can defeat to get revenge on. Okay, let's see if the logic makes sense. Lever is pulled. Activates the script. The script is connected to this guy. No, which one is it? This one is 4B1C 4B09. So this one enables this one over here, and it's initially disabled. And this guy, the enable parent, is that one, and it should be opposite. Because this one is initially disabled. And it isn't. Okay, so that will work. So when you pull this lever, this guy will disappear, that one will reappear. To tell you where to go. And I just want to check this guy. Okay, so that'll only happen once. So that thing will move over there. There is a fairy in Lost telling you exactly where to get the book. So, but you need a key. So you'll have to go through the entire Ruptured Towers and then come back to Lost in order to actually do it. In order to get that book. There's some things that are hidden, but if it's something important like that, I try to make it easy to find. Okay, so that fairy is now Dunyan Rings, but I will check it. Huh? Oh, go away. Okay, now I need to check on the Master Darknut, because he's carrying the clock shield. At least he's supposed to be. Oh, wait a second. No? Epona's song. It is out in the open. It's not in a chest. Ah, there we go. So the Darknut is supposed to be carrying... He's just not carrying it. That's the problem. Darknut. As for a hint as to where exactly it's in the war quarters, It's in one of the Dwemer areas, if I remember correctly. I could just show you where it is in Creation Kit, but that's no fun. Oh no, it is in there. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, he's not carrying it. Okay, so let's give him the actual one. Clock shield. I don't know why he's wearing the unplay knight. He's supposed to have the knight one. Okay, the light at the top of the tower in Kakariko Village, they are meant to be very mysterious and confusing. Should be okay. So that light at the top, I am going to add... So in 6.5, there's going to be an area called Lost Sky Crater, and they will be... You'll be able to find them in Lost Sky Crater and actually interact with that light and see what exactly it is. And it sort of gives answers to what they are. Yeah, Valentine does have a book about them. There's hints and clues as to what they are, and why they are in Kakariko Village. But I deliberately added... They actually are canon. They're Zelda canon. They're from Majora's Mask. And I just sort of reinterpreted them for my own uses. Who's the Knight Heavy? Clock Shield Knight. This one... No. Okay. I don't know why these unplayable ones... I don't get it. I don't understand. It's something. Oh, this one is because... They're not ghosts. There's one small mission that you encounter them in Majora's Mask, and I base their appearance on how they look. Thank you for liking the Doctor Who references. I may have gone a little overboard with the Doctor Who references, but it definitely fit where I was going with it. This one doesn't really... Hero Shade works, so we don't have to worry about that. So Master Darknut should now have the proper shield. So one major place where there are Doctor Who references is Kakariko Graveyard. Row 13, all the way through sort of bottom part, there's a whole row of quotes from Doctor Who in Kakariko Graveyard, for one thing. The Hero Shade quotes Doctor Who a couple times. In fact, Zelda in Wisdom, Power, and Emotion, she quotes Doctor Who. Very subtly, but it is Doctor Who. There's lots of other ones that are sort of scattered around, but the main one is in Kakariko Graveyard. There's this row of gravestones. And yeah, the fairy letter quotes Doctor Who. Ganon's epitaph quotes Doctor Who. Okay, I think the clock shield should be fine. I will check it. That's not what I want. I'm gonna check the clock shield. Gotta check the clock shield. And I'm going to look at Ganon's sword. Ganon's sword, because it might have issues with its texture. It looks fine. It might just be the wood. Fairy letter one? Gridlock. The episode with the, in fact, there's the whole story arc of, Series 3, the one with Martha, with, the Return of the Master. Here's the fairy letter. I'm gonna open up the fairy letter. Because this isn't a secret or anything. You are not alone. That's the quote from Doctor Who. So it's Gridlock, it's that whole arc. Yeah, Professor Yana. That whole arc from starting with Gridlock and going all the way through the rest of the season. So now I'm going to save, and I'm going to branch out into another program that I use to make Relics of Hyrule. So while Creation Kit is saving, this is NifSkope. This is what I use to fiddle with the meshes, the models, the 3D who's-em-whatsits for Relics of Hyrule. And I'm going to load up Ganon's sword, which is actually based on... It's a sword from a little mod called Useless Weapon Resources, I think? Something like that. And somebody just made a bunch of weapons and put them together and released it as a resource. I used it for my own purposes. And I watch a lot of people's Let's Plays. There are a few. Ace Omega, 2 Asgard. There's those are the 2 main ones that I'm keeping an eye on. Eric, mentions he uses Relics of Hyrule in his playthrough of Skyrim as well. And I saw Ace Omega got to Ganon's tomb, and his Ganon's sword that he found looked a little funny, so I just wanted to make sure that it looks like it was just the yeah, it's just the wood. And I like Ganon has a lot of weapons dedicated to him in Relics of Hyrule. He has the Sword of the Sages, Sword of the Spare, Trident of Power, and Ganon's Sword. And Ganon's Sword is meant to be his sword when he was just merely Ganondorf, before he became like super crazy town evil man of evilness. This was his sword. So it's sort of meant to be an heirloom of him, sort of. It's meant to... My idea for Ganon was I wanted to humanize him. Not like make him sympathetic, but make him... sort of humanize him. Not really make him this stark, horrible villain who's just evil all around. He's evil. He's definitely evil. But I wanted to be like, yeah, he's evil, but he is human. If that makes any sense. Ganon's sword is fine, so there's nothing wrong with it. I am going to bring up Alnasan's journal, and I'm probably going to finish that. Because I had it written. I was writing it. Ganon, he's a man. Alright, Alnasan's journal. So Alnasan ooh, okay, yeah, he managed to kill Zelda. I guess he killed her. I I don't want to give away anything. I don't want to tell you. He didn't. He defeated her. He did defeat Zelda, but she still won. Wisdom, Power, and Emotion is a really great lore book because it sort of ended in a stalemate. And if you read Ganon's Epitaph, I'm gonna make a thing for Ganon's Epitaph, a similar thing like Ganon's Epitaph for Zelda and Link. So everybody died in the last Great War of Hyrule, but they weren't like annihilated. Their souls were rescued. But he did end up defeating her, but she still ended up following her plan, if that makes any sense. So this is Alnasan's journal. The idea with Alnasan, that the story I'm going to give her, is that she is a Gerudo that questions their laws, or questioned their laws. The idea of the Gerudo tribe consisting entirely of women, and then every 100 years a single male, and then he's king. He's just automatically king. And she's like, why? So she's trying to find out why, and she joins up with Nabooru to try to figure out why Ganon gets to be king, why they have a king, and where all the Gerudo men went. And then it goes up to Chronicle of War, Volume 4. It's actually good that it sits funny with you. That is the point. The whole point of the story of the Relics of Hyrule lore. It's supposed to be sad. It's supposed to be bleak. It has to be that way for everything to make sense in the context of how Skyrim is set up. So I don't want to sound like cruel, but it's good that you had an emotional reaction to it. Like that's what I want. It's sort of sadistic, but it's like the whole way that this is set up, it has to be that way. Okay. Subaru is captured. So I need to look up some quotes. And I'm doing my best I don't want to overwrite the lore, so I'm not gonna like have like huge long conversations between Alnasan and Nabooru. But I do want to allude to the second in command. That doesn't really work. Backwards lie. That's better. So Nibiru is Ganondorf's second in command in Ocarina of Time. And I'm gonna look at quotes. Leader of the gang. Yeah. Leader of the gang of thieves. Tribal warriors need a king. To our last king. Who was our last king? Or yeah. Only one main series game. Oh. Only one main series game. I don't know, every so often on something. Minish Cap doesn't have the Master Sword, does it? Yeah, it's the Minish Cap. I can always look at items. Yeah, Minish Cap doesn't have the Okay, I just got distracted. Nibiru. Going back to Nibiru. Yeah, there's a lot of the Master Sword is in a lot of games, but isn't in a few. The Mirror Shield of the Great Sea was actually the first Mirror Shield I ever added to, that I ever made. I didn't make it, that I ever made a mod for. It was made by Chief01, the same guy who made the Master Sword. So I really like the Mirror Shield of the Great Sea as well. I really like how big it is too. I like playing with size so that everything has a purpose. Also, I am, I think there's one more mirror shield that I need to add to the mod, and that is one that I'm going to call the Mirror Shield of the Tower. It's the Link's Awakening mirror shield, I think. So I will make that and add it to it, add it to the mod, and I think that'll be the last mirror shield. Oh, but yeah, Breath of the Wild. Once Breath of the Wild comes out, then I'll start actually doing stuff. There's the Mirror Shield of the Well from Majora's Mask. There's Ocarina of Time Mirror Shield. The Mirror Shield of the Great Sea from Wind Waker. The Golden Mirror Shield from Link to the Past. And then there's some other things. It can't be fixed. It's a script issue. There's the way that it works is that it takes the spell, identifies the spell, and then casts the spell again. Sometimes the script lags, and it'll absorb it and reflect it. And it's okay because the Mirror Shield in Ocarina of Time would absorb magic, and you could use it to reflect it later. So it's not a big deal, and it's not something that I can actually fix. My guess is that the stream just like jumble a little. Oh, stream's resumed. Okay, so something went. So far, it's been pretty stable. The broadcasting software is working surprisingly well. There's just a few hiccups here and there. Oh, yeah. I'm quoting directly from Ocarina of Time for Naburu's dialogue in Alasan's journal. I am, yeah, magic armor. It is something that I have been thinking about for a long time. I've wanted to add it for a very long time. The problem was I didn't want it to be based on money. I didn't want it to siphon rupees. I didn't want it to siphon septums. I wanted it to be more... I wanted it to be truly magic based. And I'm still figuring out what exactly it'll do and how it'll work. I just think that the money based thing is a little silly, and it also makes it a little unfair. Because somebody could have tons of and I know this is the same way that it is in Twilight Princess, but because it's an end game thing, in Twilight Princess, I don't know, it's something that needs a lot of thought for it to make sense in the context of Skyrim. But I do want to add it. It will be coming eventually. It'll just probably be more like a combination of all the magic armor. So it'll be like how Wind Waker did it, but using armor like in Twilight Princess rather than a shield. Is in a magical force field like in Wind Waker. So it'll be the way that Wind Waker did it, but the appearance of Twilight Princess. I was thinking of making it pretty powerful protection, but a huge detriment to your magicka and stamina. And I was actually thinking of somehow making it so that it drained your magicka, and when it was done with your magicka, it would drain your stamina, and then it would start to drain your health, but while giving you a very strong magic resistance and damage resistance. And I also have to balance it with everything else, with the Fierce Deity's armor, which is a little overpowered. I need to balance it with other things. So it's something that I'll think about. The gears are turning. The Fierce Deity's armor is actually scattered around Skyrim. The boots are in Kakariko Chapel, but the gauntlets are somewhere else. The mask is somewhere else in Skyrim, and there's one in the Shattered Lands. So there's one in the Freezing Caves, technically in Kakariko Chapel. There's one in Shattered Lands, and then there's 3 more in Skyrim, different dungeons in Skyrim, for the Fierce Deity's armor. The kid's name near Riften is Max. And actually, thank you for telling me exactly where he is, near Fort Greenwall. I'm gonna make a note of that so that I can add it to the wiki. The burial masks are they're a little finicky in terms of redeads, resisting redeads. I tried to fix them in 6.48, I think. Magic absorption also works against redeads, if you want to resist their shrieks of paralysis. The sound of them shrieking is actually is somebody screaming in an airport hangar. Somebody went to it's a public domain royalty-free sound of a guy. He recorded himself screaming in an empty airport, in an empty hangar, and I used that sound for the redeads. She is, she's near Morwidajal. She's in the, well, you know, she's in the city near Morwidajal. That's what I'll tell you. That's where Ignatia is. She's in the city near Morwidajal. Yeah, she is. She is, I based her on, when I wrote, I used to write, like, science fiction stories, and she's named after one of those characters. And she is, and that's one thing, and she's also a character that I used in Skyrim. I copied and pasted her from the character I actually used in Skyrim. Yolanda is also, Yolanda isn't a character that I used in Skyrim, but she's based on characters that I made up for, those stories. But yeah, Valentine was a character that I used for Skyrim. She was the first character I ever made. She's the original. Oh, the Falmer follower is no longer. He was. The Falmer follower was in Kino Langdonzel. You used to be able to recruit him, but he wasn't reliable at all. Sometimes he would break and just. He would just sort of break and start attacking people, and you could also not talk to him, so he was always your follower. So I removed him from the game, but he was from uh, an old version of Kino Langdonzel. I think Relics of Hyrule works best as a game rather than a story. Wait, no, it is a story, but it works better as a interactive experience, I think. I I'm hmm, I I might make a Bokoblin follower. I might be able to do that. Um, and I might see if there's a way to make the Falmer sort of follower thing work. I don't know. It might happen. Glad that the new Kino Langdonzel has gotten a good response. Um, I wanted to make it. I wanted to refresh it. It's the first dungeon I ever made, and I didn't like how it was sort of structured. So I wanted to make it more like an actual dwarven ruin, and I wanted to make it look nicer, be more used. Yeah, it was the new Kino Langdonzel was implemented in 6.48, if I remember correctly. Redesigned Kino Langdonzel, yeah. Upper Dungeon, the first area was redesigned for 6.48. In fact, that area, the expansion to the Hofengar Secret Grotto, that was supposed to be part of Kino Langdonzel, but I went a little overboard with it, and I'm like, this doesn't work for Kino Langdonzel anymore. Um, Gotta get this wording right. I don't want to make it sound weird. If that makes any sense. I think the Stalrim arrows should be craftable because they were added in Dragonborn. It's probably Stalrim and firewood to make Stalrim arrows. And actually, you did spell it correctly. Stood out so confused by Actually, no. Oops, wrong one. There's one quick way to find out whether they are craftable and how to craft them. Dragonborn Stalrim. Weapons. Arrow. It is... yeah. 1 Stalrim, 1 firewood. But if you can't craft Stalrim equipment, you can't craft the Stalrim arrows. it's good enough. I might rework it between now and when I actually release it. But for now, I need to just implement it into the journal. So I'm going to duplicate Aerofall's journal here, just so I have a journal. Boop. Okay. And I like having quotes in all of these lore books, or most of them. And this is a quote from Game of Thrones. There it is. I use quotes to sort of establish the theme of the lore book that I'm using them for. Give her Sun's journal. Boop. So now, when you recruit her and access her inventory, you will be able to read her journal and find out her backstory. So, added. And like I said, I'm gonna make journals for Latimer and Yolanda, but right now I don't have any inspiration, so I don't want to just like type something out and not have it work. I want it to actually fit. Okay, so actually, it looks like I finished everything that I wanted to. I have to test things now. So I'll be opening Skyrim soon. And while we wait, I'm gonna update Max's Wikia article. Oh yeah, you can marry them. Yeah, you can marry Alnason, you can marry Latimer, you can marry Yolanda. I forget whether you can marry Valentine. You can't marry Ellery, for lore reasons. But I think you can marry everybody else. I don't know about Valentine. And it's also sort of a coincidence that Latimer is the only male follower from Relics of Hyrule. I didn't really intend that. Alnason's a Gerudo, so she was gonna be female. And I wanted to be more, like, equal between Yolanda and Latimer, and then Valentine just sort of happened. Ignatia just happened, so it wasn't intentional for there to be so many ladies in the mod. Max. This is the one thing that I do need help with. If you can help with the wiki, I definitely need help with the wiki. If you want to help with the mod, please help with the wiki. Near fort, green wall. There. That's good enough. Something I was thinking of doing was making Max into a follower. I don't know if that would work, because he's a child, but it's something that I might try. Yeah, I'll see if that's possible, but I don't know if it is. I may also fiddle with Ellery, but I may not. I think I want to keep Ellery the way she is. I don't want to... she's not broken, so I'm not going to try to fix her. Beep. Oh wait, no, I need to add a collapsible thing to that. Lord. Why is the gallery way up here? The gallery and video should be a... Well, the lore's okay. I'll leave the lore there. Okay, lore. Let me open the source editor. Lore. No, stop it. Put this down here. And I'm going to open up another browser window here. I know soldier armor has collapsible doodads. There. And oh. Oh wait, that didn't work. It's supposed to... Why didn't it do the collapsible thing? Div class MW collapsible / div. Maybe if I put it on the outside. Oh, for love of crap. The wiki is... The wiki is just kind of very clunky. This interface for the wikia is... It can be really annoying to work with. Okay. I just made a collapsible thing. There. Now you can collapse the lore. Of course, now there's no spoiler tag at the beginning. God bless America. There. Better. Okay. Yeah, I am a huge Pokemon fan. So I have Bulbapedia bookmarked. And actually there is something in Relics of Hyrule. There's several references to Pokemon in Relics of Hyrule. The main one is to the Lake Trio. Because Yuxi, Mesprit, and Azelf are based on where are they? They're yeah. So Yuxi is the knowledge Pokemon. Mesprit is the emotion Pokemon, and Azelf is the willpower Pokemon. And even their colors are inspired into Relics of Hyrule. There's yeah. I love Alolan Executor. I love every single Alolan form out there. I'm gonna get an Executor and I'm gonna name it Make Like a Tree. Like everything that they've done with Sun and Moon, I have an unconditional love for. Like the idea for Alolan Executor is, it's an Executor that's thriving in Alola's tropical environment. So like normal Executor is a palm tree that's because this is what happens to palm trees when they're outside of their normal environment. When they're in an area that they're not thriving, they'll be stubby and short, just like Executor. So Alolan Executor is an Executor that is just thriving in the tropical region. So it's a true palm tree. Everything, all the regional variants have they're all great examples of true evolution, of natural selection and artificial selection. Persian is a great example of artificial selection. And the others are adaptations to Alola. So I really love them because it's great. Anyway, the Lake Trio reference is it's in a pretty substantial part of it's actually like ingrained into the mod. I don't want to give it away, but if you actually, you know what? If you go to Kakariko Chapel and interact with the goddess statues, then you'll get a sense of where the Lake Trio reference is. There's another reference that isn't quite as obvious, that's just really hidden. So here's Vanillux, everyone's favorite Pokemon, because he's an underdog because he's based on an inanimate object, and people just hate Pokemon based on inanimate objects. But I paid homage to Vanillux in the Shattered Lands in a very, very subtle way. And I mentioned this in a sort of an Easter egg, a video about Easter eggs. You don't need the courage. You just need it's just that phrase that will give you a hint as to what the idea of the Lake Trio. And yeah, if you have enough tarnished shards. Anyway, so here, right here, this chest up here has something in it, but this area down here, this section of crystals, is based on Vanillux. You can see the get a closer image here. These two are the two ice cream heads, and then this, all of this stuff here, the ice crystals, even down to the number of little tiny ice crystals there. There's the bottom cone. There's even the straw. up at the top there. It's pretty subtle, and then the ruins here are the smoke, the mist coming out of the straw. Yep. You can use Whirlwind Sprint, you can use the Rock's Cape, you can use the Song of Time to enter the Shattered Lands. I mean, if you can enter it with... No matter how you enter it, as long as you're not using, like, TCL or a cheat, or, like, somehow jimmying your way around... I fixed the issue. There was an issue before where you could, in the Link Between Worlds, you could jimmy yourself behind this apocryphal bridge and enter the Shattered Lands that way. But I did fix that because now this thing is disabled by default, this auto load door. It should be disabled by default. It is now disabled by default. So it only opens when this gate is open. Or it will. Oh, no. Yeah, it's fine now. Because it is... Enable parent. I am going to enable the... Wait, oh no, it's this lever, this thing over here. So when you open Itnumzan's thing, when you turn Itnumzan's valve, I put a script on it. Open. Put a script on this. Yeah, so now, in 6.49, when you turn Itnumzan's valve, the auto-load door over there will enable. Shattered. Okay, that is... Nope. Okay. So now, I have to save again, because I fixed something. Close that. Okay. Gotta wait for it to save. There's a lot of graveyards. I grabbed graves and... There's over 100 graves that have, there's graves that you have to... there's 100 graves, over 100 graves in Kakariko Graveyard that you can actually interact with and see little messages. So that was a lot of work, putting those together. So speaking of black books, I have something planned that's sort of similar to a black book for 6.5, and then 6.6 there'll be more. But there's something I have planned that it's not a black book. It's just the way that you enter it is similar to a black book. I'm planning on making a video for the Kakariko Graveyard. Once I reach it in the series, I'm going to make a video guide video going through every single gravestone and telling you where it came from and what the reference is. And actually, there's already the article on the Kakariko Graveyard for the wiki. There it is. Relics of Hyrule wiki, if you go there and look at the Kakariko Graveyard doodle. Where's the search function? Probably just go to locations. Kakariko Graveyard, where is it? There it is. So the article for the Kakariko Graveyard on the wiki tells you, here's the grid, so it tells you exactly which ones you can interact with, and then it tells you the phrases all the way down, and at the end where they actually came from. And most of them are references and quotes. Some of them are ones that I made up myself, but most of them are quotes. I think this one was submitted. Yeah, that one was submitted. User submitted. I had a survey up for a while that people could submit epitaphs and engravings. There. There. Okay, good enough. Yeah, the entire N row. So the 13, the 14th row, every single one, so 14th column, every single one is one that you can interact with and see a message. And same thing with 13th down. Almost all the way through, you can. Oh no, creation. Wait for it to respond. It's just saving. It's okay. It didn't crash. It's just saving. That's all it is. Don't worry about it, Windows. Okay, there we go. So here's what I'm gonna do. The stream is winding down. I'm not gonna use Creation Kit anymore during the stream. I'm gonna check on the things that I did. So I'm going to check on Black Fairy and Ganon's Tower, and I'm going to check on the White Ring enchantment, and Blizzetta, and the Clock Shield, and all that stuff. You are correct, sir. That's why I put all the Doctor Who quotes in the 13th row. And, if eventually, I'm sure there will be the 13th Doctor, and I will add the quote from the 12th Doctor. A quote from the 12th Doctor when that time comes. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I will still be working on Relics of Hyrule by that time. To start, it is kind of getting into modding is tricky. If you wanted to make something as complicated as Relics of Hyrule, it requires a lot of experience. I'm still learning. I've been working on modding things for years. I fiddled with Minecraft. I fiddled with The Sims. I fiddled with Oblivion. I made mods for all three of those. So I had background by the time Skyrim came out. And then even then I had to learn the Creation Kit. And I'm still learning things and correcting my mistakes from early on. And then if you wanted to do complicated stuff, you need to know coding for the scripts. You need to understand how they work. And And Creation Kit has a decent website explaining how to do things, but even the website isn't really that useful. It's a lot of experience and a lot of trial and error to actually figure out what you want it to do. What I want to do is I want to open Skyrim, but I want it to be in windowed mode, and I have a thing set up so that it opens in windowed mode, but I'll have to disable that. I think it's an SKSE. Yeah, so I'm going to disable this. I'll put it in a folder. Here. That way, it should open in a window so we can keep it going. So we can still see the chat. Oh, I closed the, dang it. I closed my notepad file, keeping track of things. Gotta wait for it to load. Alright. I can't move the Skyrim window, so I'm gonna open Notepad. There we go. Okay, so I need to check the Black Fairy and Ganon's Tower. Ugh. So this guy, this is sort of my main, when I'm just playing Skyrim for fun, this is the character that I use. One problem is that the media is exaggerating everything. The political environment, the media is making everything look like it's balanced when it's not, and it's making everything look like it's horrible when it's not. I don't know. I don't want to get into politics, but that's just my 2 cents. The media is the problem, not... Like, murder rates are down. They're the lowest they've ever been. It's just that the media is an asshole. Okay, ruptured. Up, Wolfos. Alright, gotta get him. He's dead. Gotta die. You gotta die now. You gotta die now. You die. And I guess you have to die too. Okay, you did. Okay. I gotta fight my way down. Fine. Get out of my way. Thank you. Gotta take care of these guys. Shut up. I need a stronger weapon. Okay. Nope. Twilight Sword seems to be stronger. Okay, he's dead. There is a, well, I need to work on it, but I'm making the dark nuts a little darker. They're still orc vampires, but they have pitch black skin. Except this one, his head is messed up, so I need to fiddle with the I'm gonna make a note to dark nut face textures forked. I know how to fix it, it's just a matter of doing it. Okay, so let's test this guy. Lever's pulled, and the fairy moves. And the fairy doesn't come back. Alright, excellent. That's how it should be. Black fairy is finished. And since we're in Ganon's tower, we're gonna check on our good friend, Mr. Darknut. And I'm gonna show you one of the ways that you can if you have a mod, this comes from Spell Mod. I think it's Battle Mage's Arcanes, something like that. You can use actually, maybe I have Whirlwind Sprint. No, I don't. You can use Feror's Wind to do the same thing. If you have a Mark and Recall spell, you can do it this way. So there's one way to do it is to just teleport here. To mark this as a teleport spot and teleport here after you flip that switch. Or you can use a time slow spell. I wonder if I have the Inverted Song of Time on this guy. I do not. Fair enough. So I'm going to use this mod spell. That's going to mark that area. And I'm going to pull this switch and then teleport. And that is one way that you can solve that puzzle. You can use slow time. You can use Whirlwind Sprint. You could use other things like that. Oh, there you go. Thank you. And you can also use the Pegasus moves if you just move really fast. Don't know why the Dinophos howl. Actually, I do know why, but... He did. And you are going to be dead too. Die. Be dead. Okay. Hi, Master Darknut. I'm just checking on you. I'm not hiding, I'm right here. Where are you? You're hiding! What's your problem, Master Darknut? Where are you? You in here? What are you doing? He's supposed to be in here. But I guess it doesn't matter where he is. Hello. Okay, so he has the shield. You're kind of small. Aren't you a little small for a Darknut? He's really small. Oh, jeez. What the heck? This is so small. That is actually kind of hilarious. Okay, he has the Nightfall Clock Shield. Good. Okay, but now I need to check his height. Okay. Next stop is Midna's tomb. think it's oh no, it's 05B. In this tomb, because I gotta check on one of the bosses here. Actually, wait, what am I doing? 05C. Okay. I have to go through backwards. Hello. Good night. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Good night. I really liked these. I like these arches that I put in here. Oh, right. Now I need to use unlock. Unlock, not unclock. Alright, there's Fyrus. He seems to be okay. How you doing? Doing great? Good to see ya. Have an arrow. Ah! Didn't enjoy my gift. Ooh. Actually, I have a quick kill. He dead. Good night. Okay, now let's see if Blizetta's okay. Nope, I need to unlock it. Unlock. Hey Blizetta, how's it going? Okay, she is mad, and she is throwing ice spikes. That's actually kind of cool. Are you gonna do anything else? Maybe stop? Maybe do something else? Do a thing. Ice spikes are cool, but why are you aiming way over there? I'm just staying. Oh, there we go. Your aim is a little off. She's frustrated. Right. How's this? How if I get a little closer? No, you're really bad at aiming. I'm over here. And she doesn't seem to be... Yeah, she's strong. Oh, now she's using Ice Storm. That's a better idea. Maybe just do that. Yeah. I think it's because she's so big. She's having trouble because she's so big. Ah, very good. That's a good one. There we go. Now you're aiming better. Okay. That's better. Okay, I think she's fine. Oh, wow. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, you're definitely fine. Oh, nice. Excellent. Okay, she is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with her. That is very good. There we go. Okay, everything's fine. Blizetta is good. More dynamic in battle. Okay. Final, well, one more thing I need to check is the... oh, this is the wrong place. I need to go... Oh, no, there is a... Oh, what is that? I need to go to the midden. No. Enchanter. I need an enchanting table. Easy fix. Enchant. There. Okay, place me. I was just testing Blizetta to make sure that she wasn't, being stupid. I don't think you really missed much. I don't know how long you've been gone. I tested Blazetta, her spells, and I was testing the Master Darknut, and he found out he was really tiny. And then now I'm going to check the White Ring enchantment. I would like to do live streams more often. I just don't have a lot of time because of my job. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I might do like... I might try to do like monthly or bi-weekly, every other week, do a live stream. Okay, that's what I want. I don't know. We'll, I'll have to figure it out. Do I have a white ring? I don't have a white ring. I'll have to get a white ring. Oh, no, I have a white ring. Alright, let's do that. Got the white ring enchantment. Let's do white ring. White ring. See what we can put it on. Yep, we can use it now. So the white ring enchantment does work. I can put it on my Nordic armor, and we'll have to see if it actually functions. Okay, so I am wearing the ancient... I'm wearing Nordic armor with the magic, the white ring active. So right now I'm not wearing it. And I need to get a weapon that can work with it, so... I can use this weapons chest here. This is most, if not all, of the weapons that are in the mod. So we'll definitely be able to find some. Deep Corrupt Master Sword, that's a good one. Deep Corrupt Master Sword is under D because it starts with a D. Okay. Okay, so right now, not wearing the armor, and it's not launching sword beams, but if I put the armor on, let's see if it works. Yes! Alright, so, the White Ring enchantment can now be broken off and functionally applied to other things. White Ring enchantment. Now, fully functional. And I guess the last thing I need to do is check the Hofengar Secret Grotto. Okay, so this is where I'm supposed to be. There's Alnasan, there's Yolanda. Where the heck is Latimer?
Careful not to torch anything important.
Oi! For another thing, where's everything else? There's supposed to be the fairy in a jar. And there's supposed to be... I may have to, like, reset Latimer. I may have to delete him and put him back in. The Hylian vampires aren't in here either. I don't know. Oh, wait, I may have already tested this. Maybe that's why everything's weird. Okay, let's try the Song of Time. Do I have the Song of Time? I do not have the Song of Time. Song of Time. Song of Time. That did not work. Oh! That worked. so that's definitely accessible with Whirlwind Sprint. Are there any enemies down here? There's a Gold Skulltula. Oh, that's kind of a gap, but whatever. That's also a gap. I thought I changed that. Oh, I changed this one. I didn't change the other one. Oh well. Alright, hey Skulltula, how's it going? There's that guy. He's dead. There's another guy. Is he inside the wall? I think so, yeah. There's one inside the wall. It needs to change.
Is someone there?
Hylian Vampire, how's it going? Oh, you're a Gerudo Vampire. Dead. Oh, didn't want... Stop. I wanted to look at her corpse. Great. Oh, she resurrected. Well, she can't attack me down here, so I need to look at her. Her face is doing that thing that they do. Her eyes are also not vampire eyes, so I'll have to change that. Alright. Thanks for your help. What is that? Oh, it's... okay, never mind. That's, yep, thanks. Thanks for the compliment. I'm gonna switch to a different weapon. Yes. Oh, okay, that's just one of those. Hello, that's a Hylian Vampire. How's it going? You are okay. You have the proper eyes and everything. Your skin seems to match. Okay, she seems to be fine. If Gibdos are invisible, I mean, I can't really check it because everything should be fine. Everything would be fine on my end. Yeah, there's a Gibdo. Right, Gibdo, go back. Go to sleep. So, I think... my guess is that the Gibdo being invisible thing is, either because the meshes aren't loaded, or I forgot to include them in the file, which I can check. But I'm pretty sure that they're okay in terms of... I will just check whether I included them. Meshes, actors, redid. Yeah, the Gibdo meshes are in there. So I'll reply to that bug. And tell them to reinstall the mod. Or reinstall that update or something, because it's just that the mesh is missing, or the mesh isn't being loaded properly. But yeah, I will check on that. Well, I think that's it. I did all the things that I was going to do with Creation Kit today. I tested them in game, and I made notes on things that I'm gonna fix in the future. So I'm going to end the stream there. We've been streaming for about 3 hours. I think that's a good place to stop. I'll keep in mind the setup that I have for the next stream, so that it actually works on time instead of wasting 15 minutes trying to get it to work. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thanks for talking in the chat. It was nice talking to everybody in real time. I do want to do another stream in the future. It'll probably be another live stream, and I'm planning on working on 6.5 for that next live stream. I don't know when it'll be. It might be later in November. It'll probably be later in November. Might be on a weekend. Who knows? It could be next week. Who knows? We'll find out. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. My name is Jake Calenad. This has been Relics of Hyrule. Enjoy your day.